Hey everybody, Claire Chancellor here. I'm really excited to share this time with you. And I know how precious time is, and to be able to share this content with you is such a joy. Jess and I spoke about what we're going to be delivering in Elevate and Evolve, and it really stood out that we have so much to share that we want to be able to carve out some time to talk to you. Carve out more time for processes, carve out more time for conversations and coaching, and in doing so, we thought, okay, we'll hit record on some of the slide content. So here we are with night two. We've already gone over night one, which was the broad ideas and the broad steps of how to get what you want. And now we're going to go through step two. Why do you want what you want? So when we think about what do you want, hopefully you've taken some time out for yourself, made the world shut down and go away so that you can focus in on what you want, whether that's within love, relationships, the same thing there, Claire, career, travel. What does your heart desire? What do you want? And hopefully you've been able to, again, carve out some time to articulate what it is that you want. With that in mind, then step two is to work out why you want what you want, to understand the why, to understand the motivation behind this. And so the other piece of home play was to have a look again at, well, why do you want what you want? Now, I do encourage you to have a look here at the second question. And if we were in the group together, I'd say, who's happy to share? But what I want you to think about is what is important to you? Why do you want what you want? Now, most of us have had many chapters of our lives surrounded by people who actually don't dream big, who may have even questioned why you want what you want, who have maybe, pushed back and projected some of their limitations upon you. And so being able to shrink and second guess and staying small, your intuition is definitely saying, I've had enough of this. And let's come into Elevate and Evolve to pivot. Anyone there can relate to those types of sabotaging, heavy duty friendships or relationships? Anyone know that person? I know I definitely do. I know that. I learned very early on in my career just not to share the big deal goals with people who are not big dreamers, who don't see the possibility for it themselves. And if you want a really big way to shift your limiting beliefs, is to actually be in the room with people who share that passion to want more out of life. So, yeah, checking in here. Why do you want what you want? And making sure that you do not share your big goals with people who are going to squash the desire in you. So it's a good thing that you're not in that old chapter anymore, right? A good thing that you have that self-awareness that you're choosing you, choosing to elevate, choosing to evolve, choosing to pivot, to start an absolutely beautiful new chapter where anything is possible. And believe me, with these 8 steps, I have well and truly seen incredible things happen. Now, as I said earlier, to check in why you want what you want. If we were in one-on-one coaching, I would point this out for you. I'd say, isn't this interesting, this goal that you want, the 6-figure business, thinking of a client earlier today. Isn't that interesting that it's an away from goal? You'd think that, okay, yeah, 6-figure business, like, yes, that's what I want, that's what I'm moving towards. But in fact, the motivation was a little bit heavy there. And I'm going to go into more detail how you can identify that. There's a difference here with your goals, whether you're going to create burnout or success when it comes to how you've written up your goal. So what does this mean to be towards or away from within your motivation? Anyone here that's learnt NLP with me? We're now diving into the master's content. So this is fun to talk about. Anybody who says that they want financial abundance, like that 6-figure business, and you ask them what's their motivation, they may say, well, I want it so I don't have to struggle anymore. I want it so that I don't have to keep stressing over money. That particular client, they're on a path to burnout and I need to intercept quite quickly to work out, okay, there's some issues here that need to be worked through. Versus the client that comes with their goals written out to say, well, I want the six-figure business. And you can translate that, by the way, to the travel, the car, the house, the whatever. I want that six-figure business, or I want that financial abundance because it will mean that I'll have a fulfilling life. There's a emphasis here on that fulfillment, what's possible, creating something new in a new chapter, compared to that survival way of, okay, well, money's going to be the solution here. I need money so I don't have to struggle. A different slide. I want to have a career on my terms, or I want to have a relationship on my terms. What will that mean? What's the motivation here? Well, it will mean I won't have to feel powerless. I want a relationship where I don't feel hurt. I want a relationship I want a career where people don't squash my ideas. All of this is an away from motivation, and it's going to cause a level of stress and cortisol to come up into your system as you activate this goal. Again, compared to somebody who wants the career or the relationship, so it makes them feel radiant. It makes them feel like there's a pathway to make an impact. There's so much love to give. Like, can we see there's a difference here? There's one that's quite restrictive and one that's quite expansive. So when you think about, what you want, when you're thinking about, like, are you trying to escape away from an old struggle? What do you think is going to create in your manifestation if you continue to have a goal that's away from the stress? Well, when you have that marker, that goal, or like that flag post, whatever is the metaphor for your goal, and you're trying to get away from problems or trying to get away from the struggle, the challenges, then you're actually going to create more relationship issues, more overwhelm, more resentment, more procrastination, more anxiety, more hustle and burnout, more health issues. Because there's always this unconscious, again, that flag post idea that I'm trying to get away from that thing. And if you look to someone like Richard Branson, who creates these wild ideas about what he wants to go to outer space, and he wants to have the cruise ships and the airports, they're all incredible ideas that were put in front of him. If you know anything about Richard Branson, he would sit in an airline and go, gosh, this is boring. How can I make this better? And he was one of the first people there to say, okay, let's put cameras or videos on the backs of the seats in airlines. Like, how can we make this better? Which, for any of us who have got dyslexia or ADHD, it's what we're wired to do. We are wired to want those creative solutions to make things better. When we moved into this house, as a sidestep, there was a wall in the way. David came home one day and that wall was not in my way. I had smashed it down with a sledgehammer, very happy. The flow of the home worked better. So hopefully this is translating as like, yeah, okay, we've got the goal of getting away from old problems, or we've got the goal of making things better, even if you make a mess while you're doing it. So yeah, again, if we were in the group space, I would say to you all, what do you think you would experience on the journey if you're moving towards what you want? Well, from client success, I have definitely seen that emotional elation, the relational clarity, creative flow, the self-trust, the resilience with purpose, magnetism, noticing the synchronization, the fulfillment, and the expansion. So when you get somebody out of that hustle and pushing for six figures and doing all the things, and actually ask them what lights them up, and let's get you feeling really good so you can open doors of creative possibility and attracting opportunities from what you want moving towards. Woo! It's incredible. So this is one of the most important things to know about manifesting, is to notice the motivation. Not just that cliche, okay, know your why. Know if you're putting your foot on the accelerator towards something, or, okay, I'm chugging along trying to get away from something. So before we go and rewrite your goals, rewrite what you think that you say that you want, that's a long one, isn't it? We need to understand what's actually driving what you want. Most people who are introduced to coaching or manifestation, most people step into manifesting as a way to solve their struggles. So they're already motivated by discomfort, by what they want to avoid, and this motivation definitely has its limits. Let's look at this within my slides here about how this looks. Now, stress as a motivator. One of my clients was formerly in that corporate financial la-di-da career, deeply overworked and very much unhappy, quite or snappy in the way that he communicated with people. So yes, he had money in the bank, but he was not a comfortable person to be around when I first met him. He was well and truly haunted by the sounds of his parents arguing when he was growing up. So there was still this sort of bitterness in his motivation to create the money that he had. No wonder he was doing burnout like nobody's business. As a child, he believed that the parents' divorce, like that stable home, had been crushed, broken apart because of money. Because that's all he ever heard his parents arguing over was the money arguments. He had associated, which means he created a belief, which means he had a connection here that money equals relational loss. So he chased after money, believe it or not, thinking that, okay, the more money I have, the less likely, my relationships will be broken. If people argue about money, then let me have so much that, divorce, abandonment isn't an option. Now, we contrast that to his brother, and his brother's career was shaped by that childhood love of puzzles, the deep satisfaction of like completing something and getting that satisfaction of like, oh, look what I did. He had that childhood experience and took that into his career, being a builder and a property investor, echoing again that same joy that he had growing up by that completion, putting the pieces of the puzzle together. And if you've ever built a house, you know that's exactly what it's like. There's this piece, and it's all interconnected to get that result. So two brothers raised by the same parents, two brothers here. One had the perspective of being motivated away from the stress and the arguing. That's where his nervous system went, compared to another brother who really focused on the satisfaction and the joy in life. So again, here's my little slide. One son's motivation to always have more money away from the parents arguing to be able to make sure the relationship stayed the same or stayed in place. That's the burnout. That's the hustle. That's the away from. He's always got his parents arguing in the background of his unconscious mind anytime his boss would offer him a promotion or anything. So he's saying yes to anything to make sure there's enough money and security, compared to the other brother where his motivation is that long-lasting satisfaction. Hopefully this is making sense. Because again, if you've always motivated away from that whole piece, like, oh, I'm so grateful for the roof over my head. It's like, yeah, you were really worried about pain from the past, of fearful that things can go away. And that past stays alive. And I can tell you within that client example, anytime his boss did offer him work on the weekends or the opportunities to travel, he was never home. His wife was not happy. His children were not happy. So this one's interesting. And again, compared to that other brother, where the joy in his motivation to what he wants with his security was alive in the future of what's possible. So my question to you is, have you ever found yourself stressed, stuck, and resentful of like how much you were pushing using willpower to get something done? We're told like, yep, do hard work and you'll get the results. This is true. However, that hard work, if it's an away from motivation, it is going to exhaust you. In these moments when you're pushing so hard and you've got, again, that reference point of stress, this is going to create that cortisol, the adrenaline. This is what's going to run the show. And again, anyone here in that health industry who knows about cortisol and adrenaline, we're on the path to burnout, health issues, headaches, gut issues, controlling, all the things. And this is the thing. Willpower in a short burst is awesome. Some clients I've seen will create remarkable, incredible outcomes from willpower. They've got all of the evidence. Look what I've created, Claire. I'm like, yeah. And now you come to me with burnout. We've got to turn this around. Often that willpower is pushing beyond the fear of being judged, the shame of not being enough, everything that goes with it. So you'll get results, but it will come at a cost. And like I said with that earlier client, it cost him his marriage, it cost him his kids. So, yeah. And again, can anyone else here relate to pushing hard and getting nowhere? Can anyone relate to pushing hard and then getting sick? And if we were in the group company right now, I'd say, hey, does anyone want to share what comes to mind? I know for myself, when I have gone into different opportunities where, I don't know, like whether I'm pushing to make something happen based on fear of losing something, fear of not being enough, fear of I normally would create the big thing that I wanted to create, but then I would need 3-6 months to recover. And I'm talking more like high school kind of situation there. It's like push, 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 like we do with the VCE kids, and then they crash. And it's like, yeah, because you've created so much fear of like if they don't get the score, their future depends on it. So this is what I'm talking about when we had on day one about you're always manifesting. So from, again, that example, to know what your goal is, to know your why, if you are doing it away from motivation, away from problems, away from struggling, then the motivation, the willpower, the ego is going to create all sorts of consequences. You might get the good thing that you want, but you may not have the energy to enjoy it. And again, this is where we need to focus on the other column, right? To be able to go, well, how do I change my goals towards of what I want? So let's have a look at this. If you want more freedom, you want more play, you want more joy, you need to remember that you don't need the outer world to change first. You need to change your inner world, and you need to change your motivation. And Jess is great for this because she gets real high vibe really quick and is like, awesome, like let's turn up the music, let's have fun. And this is one of the best ways to get that clarity, the fun, the joy, the play, to be able to manifest the good things that you want. I think we all, I know for my business, when I'm promising coaching and outcomes, I say, I can't describe it for you, but I can tell you it's going to feel like driving your car really fast and fun with the music playing, feeling really good, and really, yeah, ready for more out of life, because this is why we're manifesting. This is why we're here to elevate and evolve. My job here is to be able to help you uncover the value that you've already got in you. You've already got the energy and the excitement and everything that you need. We just need to reveal and flow that energy in the right direction so you do get those accelerated results. So it's already there. Now, I want you to think about every time you have been shoulding yourself. I love this when we get into NLP training, going like, who's shoulding themselves? Anytime that you're shoulding yourself, anytime you're saying, I must keep going, this is often a code that you're avoiding some deeper feelings. Maybe it's fear of confrontation, letting people down, potentially being rejected, abandoned, miscommunication. Underneath that, like, I must keep going, I'm shooting myself, again, is limiting emotions, the judgment, the guilt, anxiety, the not enoughness. And because of that not enoughness, we're now like pushing harder. We're trying to prove our worth. We're trying to overgive, overdo. This now creates that need it to be perfect. We're now playing in the field of feeling obligated, which means there's no choice. We're now feeling kind of stuck and trapped, all because we're shooting ourselves. And you will hear it in your inner dialogue. It might not be should, it could be I must, or I can't stop now. This quick language shift is going to shift your nervous system very quickly. This is a tool that you take in every single day of your life. Anytime that somebody offers you or asks or requests something from you, and you start to should and worry about the consequences and the fear and okay, you need to go clear that. There's some whole lot of childhood stuff going on about your role. But if we try this on before I go on another sidestep, I should help my neighbour on Monday, assuming that you like your neighbour. I should help my neighbour on Monday. Notice how the body responds to that one. Do you tense up? You're like, oh gosh, I've got other things I need to do. I should, but I should help my neighbour on Monday. Compared to I could help my neighbour on Monday. And even then, notice how just that one word can soften things in your body and your nervous system. I could help my neighbour on Monday. It's now my choice. So that one word can change your entire response. And similar to the client I was talking about before, he was shoulding himself. I should go to work. I should get more money. I should push harder. I should And compared to the creative brother that was like, yeah, well, I could create this puzzle, or I could say yes to this, or I could do that. There was so much joy and options and allowance to say yes to what was in alignment to his higher desire. So when your nervous system and your unconscious mind perceives that you have no choice, your body braces, there's that willpower. It's going to kick in. You're going to use all of your reserves of energy. I should help. I should push through. I should ignore what I feel. But then when you consider your options, like, well, I could help Monday, I could help Tuesday, I could go do my food shopping and then help, what actually works for me. When your nervous system begins to recognize that there's options, it will start to regulate. Your breath returns, the clarity strengthens, and this is what freedom feels like on that cellular level. It's like, there's choice. Choice is freedom. So the path is the same, but your body and your mind and your mindset is choosing to have that mental clarity. And then the good thing about that is now your body's in alignment to respond to your intuition, which we will go over in more detail in upcoming nights. So just this idea here about shoulding or coulding yourself will be huge for the way that you approach life, whether you're doing burnout because you're shooting yourself and you're feeling trapped and there's no choice and have to work harder versus, yeah, I could. And now I'm like, cool, I'm saying yes to what lights me up. So every time you pause, every time you choose what you could do, your intuition's going to get louder. You get to choose what's within alignment. And then there's almost that surrender or that detachment from all of the stress where it's like, actually, I don't have to feel guilty. Like I'm within my own right to be able to say, I care for myself. I light up. I get to say yes to what I want. And then interestingly, more opportunities start to match up to that one. Now, you might be in a gritty season right now, such as working hard to pay the bills, feeling stuck, but you still have a choice. The choice to either pay the rent or not pay the rent versus I have to pay the rent. You still have choice, and you can say, well, that, there is no choice. I have to pay it. Like, no, you need to actually start to work on your mindset here that I appreciate having a roof over my head. I appreciate having the money coming in to pay the rent. I appreciate the pillow that I sleep on. I appreciate and bring in more of that invitation for the universe to like, oh, okay, like what else is possible? And this is that money game that Jess often talks about, is like, yeah, how can it get any better? Like, so it's a very quick, easy way to recognize that you're not trapped, that the mind wants to hold on to limitations and scarcity and consequences. Your heart is open to the possibilities. So, some things here to consider is, why do I want what I want? What would feel kind to my body today? What's one small choice I can make that aligns with me? Because that clarity is kind, choice is healing and freedom, and calmness is definitely possible. I can share with you that even, if you've got a friend who's like pushing, it's like, oh gosh, I should, before that, they won't like me. Uh, you know, if you've got people there that are pushing you to pay money back, or pushing or forcing, like, yeah, or guilting you to, stay with them so that they don't, you can fill in the blanks, right? You can continue saying yes to agree in that moment, but you are building up a long-term pattern of problem stress, which will create the health issues. So that momentary pocket of time to get clarity, say, actually, I'm uncomfortable with that. Like, can we do it this way? Or, asking more questions is one of the kindest things that you can do for your nervous system, as well as doing the healing to recognize, okay, where's that guilt and the obligation coming from, which we'll talk about more in upcoming nights. So we're looking for your goals to go from away from struggle to moving to say, oh, like, not even I hope for things to change, but actually I want what I want, so that it creates that meaningful, impactful, radiant life that I want. And so my home play here is to consider why you want what you want, and potentially rewrite your goals so they're written in alignment to that heart's desire about what you want. And then just allow yourself to even dream even bigger than that. I find when I'm working with clients, I do ask them to dream really big, because that will highlight really clearly where the limitations are. You get somebody to dream really big and they're like, oh gosh, imposter syndrome. Who will I think? What will people think? I'm not enough. I'm not ready. What if I fail? And like, awesome. That's where we make the really big shifts, because you're really honest with yourself. Clear those limitations. Clear the I'm not enoughness. Ask for what you actually do want, and raise your energy, raise your self-worth, raise your confidence, again, to reveal in you that you've already had this all along. It's just about shining some light on those beautiful goals that you have for yourself, because your intuition has them there for a reason. I've got to tell you that people who take action, the action takers, are usually the money makers. Don't wait for the right time to fill this out. Don't wait for the to feel good, feel certain, feel right, feel ready. It's like, take action. Because if you can take action on the home play, you are going to be ready to say yes and take action on the big things that you really want. When the universe says, like, here, do you want this? You're like, oh, I know how this works. Like, yes, I'm ready to take action. All right. I can see the light shining on me. There's a glorious message here. So I will love you and leave you. Hopefully this helps, and I will talk to you soon. Bye, guys.